thought I'd do a graphic novel haul. Some of them you'll have seen in the pile that in my haul video from earlier on, from when I went to my comic shop. Um, but I didn't really flick. But we'll look into them a bit more now. We'll have a proper flick through. Um, Others have come in the post today, which I've not unboxed yet, so we'll do that on here. So it's kind of like a haul unboxing. Um, Another one, I don't think anybody would have guessed I'd buy this because it's from a company who I don't really support much. It rhymes with um, Carvel. And another one is a complete surprise. I had a knock on the door yesterday. Delivery person handed me a parcel, and there was a very, very big graphic novel inside of one of my most treasured periods of a certain character's history because it was such a massive event. It was like the biggest event they've ever had in comics, and it kind of like set the standard for doing like big, big, big events. It even made the news. So we'll come to that in later on. Like I said, I did not expect it. I did not know that somebody was buying it, mate. I think it must come off my wish list. So give a big shout out to that. And I will be doing a separate video for it where I'm going to set myself a goal of reading it. It's big, it's very big, so it could be a while off yet, but I do promise I will be doing a video of it to see if I still get the same sense of joy and excitement from reading it. Um, and I do have two more books coming. I do try and support other booksellers apart from Amazon. Two of my books are from Amazon, unfortunately, but the rest have come from other places. And I've got two coming, one from Speedy Hen and one from Bookmail on Monday. One is DC Finest Teen Titans. The other is Azadora book number 9. So I'll look at those when they do come. Because I do have volumes 3, 4, and 5 of DC New Teen Titans in omnibus, but I think I'm going to get rid of those. I'm going to either give them to a charity shop. I don't really want to sell them, to be honest. I know it sounds weird because most I could get a bit of money from them, but I'd rather somebody pick them up and just enjoy them. Or if anybody's in the UK on Threads or on here, if you're willing to pay the postage because they are heavy books, then you can have that. You don't need to pay for the books; just pay for the postage if you want to arrange for a collection, and they're yours. But so I'm going to get the New Teen Titans in DC Finest format from now on because I just prefer that format. So as I've said before, omnibus is like the one I get if it's not available in anything else. But that is a big preamble without even looking at the books. That's nearly 3 minutes, so I do apologise. I try not to do this, but I do it a lot of the time. So let's go and do the unboxing of these two parcels first, and then we'll move on to these. Okay. Okay, so first up is this one, and I'm not doxing myself. I've removed my address. Cheated a bit, opened it a little bit just then. Hopefully it's from Amazon, so it's a potluck when it comes to soft covers, but couldn't really find this anywhere else at the time. So this is Booster Gold, the complete 2007 series. This is book 3. I've got the other two. I've really, really had a blast reading these. I love Booster Gold. I hope in DC Finest they reprint the original Dan Jurgens run. But this finishes everything off. It's really chunky. It's the size of a DC Finest. And yeah, I really, really enjoy this. Good timey-wimey stuff with Legion connections. It's the closest thing America has to their own version of Doctor Who in a way. And yeah, I love it. And I love how this is leaning heavily into the Legion of Superheroes as well, because as most people who've been following me for a while know, the Legion is my favourite superhero team. And I think the JSA and Doom Patrol and Defenders come very close seconds to that. But yeah, this looks superb. And what is good, if you've got the other two volumes, this matches up. I just can't be bothered getting up and getting them out of my bookcase, but they match up, so that's really cool. So we'll move on to the next one. And this one, if you're on Threads, you'll know what this is. But this is the big boy. It's one of my rare omnibus purchases. I've been umming and ahhing about this for ages, and I said if it got down to a reasonable price, I would pick it up, and it did do. So, one good thing with Amazon, if you do buy omnibus from them, they do come sealed up, unlike the soft cover books. So, the future is what it used to be. What is it? It's the Legion Superheroes 5 years later. So, to save dead air like I did with my intro, I'm going to just pause it while I unwrap it from its cellophane. This is gorgeous. So somebody on Fred said they wish they'd used the cover from the Keith Giffen relaunch, which this is based on, of Legion of Superheroes. Use the first cover of that instead of this Dusty Able one, because it's not really representative of the main guts of the story and art, because Keith Giffen initially was the main artist. But it's fine. Obviously, I'll need to stretch the book. It's very, very tight. Always stretch your omnibus. So it's got a list of cast members on the inner flaps. That's the spine without the cover on. That's kind of prissy. So this is a big chunker of a book. It's about 1,400 and odd pages, as you can see with the credits. This reinvented the Legion. This came out in the late 80s, and this was just Keith Giffen being left to his own devices, and he made the Legion a completely different beast. It was a Legion for grown-ups. It was a real grown-up story. Wonderful, wonderful Keith Giffen artwork in the majority of the book, and great talent who came on with later issues as well. Tom and Mary Baerbaum joined him on writing. They were a little-known couple who did a few like indie books and stuff. He likes to do that, reach out to smaller creators to help him with books. But this artwork is just absolutely gorgeous. And again, it's another big book, and this is gonna be a heavy read. I think I'm gonna need to get like one of those padded knee trays, to read this on, because it's quite possibly it's one of the biggest books I've got. But I just couldn't wait. I adore everything about this series. It's one of my top 10 series of all time. So as you can see, really gorgeous art. I like how they kept all the back matter in as well. But you have other good artists like Chris Sprouse, Jason Pearson, etc. coming on as well. But like I said, Keith Giffen is like the creative brains behind this reimagining of the Legion of Superheroes. And I enjoyed the run he did with Paul Levitz before this came out. I've been a fan of the Legion since the 80s. There's just something uniquely different about them, more so than any other team book. And because it was set in the future, they weren't burdened by continuity, etc., because the future's not being written yet. But yeah, absolutely gorgeous. And as you can see, the more I get into the book, this is without even stretching it yet. I'm going to need to spend about 10 minutes or so just stretching individual pages. It's starting to open up a lot better. But I don't know if I'd recommend this to somebody who's never read the Legion before. Maybe get stuff like the deluxe versions of the Great Darkness Saga and the Curse, and then get onto this, so you get familiar with the characters, because Keith Giffen does not hold your hand in his storytelling, so you might feel a bit lost if you've never come across the Legion before. Here you can see the newer artists coming on. And I'm glad they've included the Timberwolf miniseries. There is a second volume, which of course I will be picking up, but I'm not in a rush. Like I said, I definitely do want to read this first, so I don't have the burden of reading two chonkers that end up being more than 3,000 pages of story. So that's that book. And then, as you saw in my whole video from a few days ago, I got the Beauty Book 2 from Ignition Press. Like I said, this cost me £8. Even though it looks like I've got really big, beefy books, expensive books, a lot of these I got for really cheap deals. So I enjoyed the first one. I don't think it's the best thing ever, but entertaining, and it was entertaining enough to want to, get the conclusion of the story. I don't know if there's another volume on this. I'll have to Google it and check. I don't know if because this goes up to issue 21, so that's the beauty. Well, this surprised me nicely. This is another one in the IDW um, IDW Classic series. This is like their compact versions. It's the size of a Marvel Premiere, but what it has over the Marvel Premiere, for one, they don't chop up the stories like the abomination that they did with Fantastic Four, even though they said, oh, it's fine because Jonathan Hickman did it. It scuppered the story. They do full runs like the Godzilla one is over 600 pages, so you're just paying $14.99 for a book that's as thick as a Marvel Omni. And the paper stock is a lot better. It's really, really high quality paper. Really sturdy cardstock cover. So this is the Mirror War saga of Star Trek Next Generation. I'm a Trekkie. I always have been, and I can't wait to dive into this. The art looks great. The creative teams are great on it as well. It's by Scott Tipton, David Tipton, Gavin Smith, Carlos Nieto, Celeste Bronfman, Roberta Ingranat, I forgot, fuck that, Jay Holford, Carlos Rodriguez, Danny Law, Henry Presetia, American Nykamp, and Megan Levins. See, did that without any hitch. What I was going to do a separate video of this, but I thought I'll just mention it now. I was going to do a video comparing all the compact editions, saying which one I think is the best. And no, I would initially at one point have said the DC compact range because the price point, the handiness, how it's complete, but it's IDW, and I'll tell you why these are even better than the DC compact range. They are continuing. They're not just one and dones. They're not just a chunk of a story and it's not going to get follow through. So, for example, the Rocketeer, there's going to be volume 2. They're going to do the whole of Lock and Key in this format, and they're bringing out the classic run of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in this format. Not just the first 7 issues, they're going to do volumes. So they're going to do the whole series in this format. So this are the only company that are doing it. Think only do it with Rick and Morty, but it's Rick and Morty. It's not got the variety. So, and they're doing it with Star Trek as well. So kudos to IDW for doing that, where they're not just making you want more, but you can't get it. You can't get it in this format. So they're going to continue the series, so you're not just left like a big, really appetizing one shot. So that's that. And then this is the one I think people would not expect me to get. It's a Marvel book. It's an Iron Man book. It's part of the Marvel Modern Epic Collection. The only reason I've got this is because I'm loving what this writer is doing on a Batman title. So it's the new Batman writer, Matt Fraction. And I've picked up World's Finest Most Wanted. Again, this was an eBay purchase. And again, got it for a song. I think this cost me £15 in total, if that, might even be less. So for the brand new Modern Epic Collection, really, really good. It contains all 19 issues by Matt Fraction and Salvador Larroca. I'm not the biggest Salvador Larroca fan, I must admit. There's just something... I just find his artwork a bit... soulless, I guess. I think my favorite, I prefer his contemporary Carlos Pacheco for art style, but I hear good things about this run, and like I said, I do really like Matt Fraction. First got into him with Sex Criminals, so I came into his work. Oh, that's unfortunate phrasing when he mentioned the Sex Criminals. I got into it again. Oh God, how can you make it sound like it's not a double entendre? I appreciated his work from Sex Criminals, and like I said, fell in love with his stuff, what he's done Batman, and so I'm happy to dive into this. And I will get his was it X-Force that he did or whatever the X-related one. I'll be getting that as well eventually. So yeah, happy to dive into that. Now this one is the one I mentioned that just came through the door unexpectedly. I was not expecting this at all. There was no indication I was going to get it. And so whoever got it me A massive, massive thank you. I was literally gobsmacked I was speechless for a good number of minutes yesterday when I received it. So this is the Death and Return of Superman in this gorgeous compendium. I love the compendium formats. This is how you read big fat books. It's nice and easy to read, even though it's still a heavy boy, but not as heavy as an omnibus. This contains the complete saga of the Death and Return of Superman. So this contains Adventures of Superman 4, Action Comics 683 to 692, Adventures 496505, Annual 5, Green Lantern 46, Justice League America 69 to 70, Superman Man of Steel 17 to 26, Annual 2, Superman 73 to 83, Annual 5, Supergirl and Team Luthor 1, Superman The Legacy of Superman 1, and the groundbreaking fold out from Superman 75. So yeah, it even has the Superman 75 fold out. This series this event started when I was doing an art course at college. So on my way to college, this was back in the lovely days when you could get comics not just in comic shops. On my way to college, art college, there was a newsstand, and it had like this rack of American comics, and Superman obviously was on there. And that's how I collected the series. I just used to get off the bus before I got into college and pick up the latest issue. This was the event for me. This was the first event that like made the news. It was. I mean, you killed off the flagship title of DC Comics. It'd never been heard of before. Yeah, Phoenix and all had been killed, but she wasn't the flagship title character like this. And yeah, I got obviously had no choice, but you had to get the black bag. I wasn't one of those who never opened the bag. I don't get multiple issues, but yeah, it was an amazing event. And again, even though it's a massive event, it was relatively just nicely self-contained. Like I said, it only spilled over into Justice League, which made sense because Superman was one of the major characters of Justice League. So it was tidy. It kept it into the Superman-related titles. And it's just great. It had a stellar cast of creatives on it. It was big. It was bombastic. Everything that you wanted in a series. And I adore this series. I love this period of Superman. Superman from John Byrne's run onwards through to the Triangle years was peak perfect synchronicity for a series of comics related to one character. I don't think it's ever been, even the Batman titles with Nightquest and all, I don't think they ever replicated the cohesiveness what they had with these range of titles. And I loved how it supplanted these new characters like Steel, Cyborg, Superman, Superboy, etc. I love how it creates all these characters that now have become I don't think a lot of the younger readers now don't realize that how the origins of a lot of these characters. So again, it was great for just inventing these characters that now have become firm fan favorites. We just don't talk about the Steel film that was made, but yeah, just wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So, whoever bought me, a huge thank you. I'm sorry, I've not got a drink to drink as well. Oh dear. I'm just going to pause and carry on once I've got a drink. Yeah, so whoever got it me, a huge thank you. As for the books on my wish list, you could not have chosen a better one because, like I said, this holds so many fond memories for me. And I've not read it in bloody years. So I cannot wait to reacquaint myself with this wonderful, massive, epic saga that I picked up. Because obviously, it was all these titles, I picked it up weekly. And it left you chomping at the bit each issue. You just had to know what happened. Even when you had the Return of Superman, you wanted to know what was going to happen with these new characters that were created. It's just, like I said, this is how you do a huge epic storyline. And I think this is why I don't like big crossover events now, because once you have this one, all the others just kind of like seem very half-hearted. Even the recent ones that DC have done, they just don't feel as impactful. This changed the face of DC Comics. I mean, to do what they did it was amazing. I can even remember seeing it on the BBC News in the UK about him dying. So that's good going. Not that he died, but it's good going that a comic could make global news, not just American news. I used to love that black costume. I thought it was so cool. So we're now, obviously, once he got resurrected, this is the era of the mullet Superman. But this is before it became the weird Superman red, Superman blue. And yeah, I love this. Yeah, perfect. So do let yourself, if you're watching this video, let yourself be known in the comments. Huge. I think I've got suspicion who it might be, but I could be completely wrong. But a huge, huge thank you. Like I said, you could not have got me a better present. This is great way to start off my birthday month. It's not my birthday yet. 31st of July is my birthday. But like I said, I will be reading this. But like I said, because of the size of it, it's a chunker. It's about one. Again, this might be nearly 1,400 pages. Because of the size of it, I want to just savor it and read it chunks at a time. So do expect a big video, but it will be within about a month's time or so. So huge, huge thank you. And I think that's a great way to finish this video. There will be some more videos being done today where I'll be in front of the camera. I don't like going in front of the camera when I'm doing these because I like to flick through and focus on the art and the books like I did with this. But yeah, I think it's a lovely way to finish this video. What other videos have I got coming today? If I read enough comics, I don't do it as often now because I don't go to the comic shop on a weekly basis like I used to. I'll do a review of the comics haul what I got because it was a big haul. And there was one other thing I was going to do. Have I just had a huge brain fart? I think I might have done. Oh yeah, I'm going to cover two comic series that I stopped. This is what I do. I stop series and then I jump back on if they intrigue me if they've been sitting on the shelves for a few months. And I've done it with two series. One of them left me completely befuddled and unimpressed with the first issue, but now it's drawn me back. It's drawn me back, and I'm kind of infatuated with it now. So there we go. That's a little teaser. So, like I said, hopefully, hope to get two more videos done for today, and I shall speak to you all soon. Bye.